Is Colossus the best X-Men?
In the 21st century, evil mutants led by Magneto aim to destroy the world. Humans can do nothing against the power of the evil mutant. The only hope is X-Men.
Go and save the city.
Sure, there's other X-Men, but let's face it, when you're playing Konami X-Men, there's only one character to pick. This is why. Yes, Wolverine is probably, in most case scenarios, everyone's favorite X-Men. But there's always been something about Colossus with me. Ever since the first time I saw him, early in comics in the 90s, the Pride of the X-Men, early 92, and then of course the NES X-Men game. Even Cyclops has his fan base. Gambit, a huge fan favorite, there's no doubt. Especially in the 90s. Everybody loved Gambit, and the 90s Cyclops. Colossus has just a special place with me. And every time you see him in anything live action, it's just, there's nothing like it. So when I came across this at GameStop, I knew right then and there, being a huge Colossus fan, being an X-Men fan, this is something I absolutely had to have. Wearing my X-Men 92 animated series shirt, you know, X-Men 92, you know, that's the thing, is he was in like one episode in that. And maybe I just felt that they could have used him. He was in the Pride of the X-Men, so every time I see Colossus, there's always that like spot, that warm spot in my heart that I want to have more Colossus. This passed on a lot of X-Men McFarlane figures, couldn't pass on this one. I've had this for about 2 weeks, and probably gonna think this is crazy, but it's been hanging in my garage. And today I said, we're gonna open this up. We're gonna do an X-Men themed review on the Colossus McFarlane figure. A few looks of the box, the packaging. This is a McFarlane Platinum Edition. You got that nice seal there, the Spawn, the classic 90s Spawn, inspired by X-Men issue #1, Colossus. Some of the artwork for the comic that is included. And then 50 years of Marvel, the classic Captain America. Now this was about $34.99. Prices have went up. Got a little bit of a discount being a GameStop Pro member. So yeah, I have had this for a few weeks, and it's been sitting in the garage. I just hadn't had a time to open this up, to do a little, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I thought that, you know what, if we mix a little X-Men gameplay with this, I think that's kind of what inspires a lot of us to pick these up. Just off of the games we remember. Mine was the NES X-Men and then Konami X-Men. Should note this is the, I believe the correct terminology is the 1/6 scale. And you just pull him up. Maybe there's not a comic. Actually, the comics are the bigger size. You get the card, so I apologize for that. I was wrong about the comic. I don't think I have any that are this size. Out of all the McFarlanes that I have, I think that they're the larger size. So I'm used to having the comic, and you get the background, you get the card, and no comic. Kind of move Colossus back for a second. This is the most sturdiest background I have ever had. So the bigger ones, I will say the downfall is they're kind of bended, and this is very straight. sure because it's a smaller scale. So if you're kind of thinking, you know, do I get the bigger size? Do I get this scale? The backing is going to be a little better on this size. You can see the card is on the side of Colossus here, holding down with some Scotch tape. Not that big of a deal for me to get the comic. It's just more stuff. I don't mind the cards. So no comic with the smaller, this is really in there, with the smaller scale, the 1/6 scale. Thought I had it. Keeps getting caught in that corner. There we go. Here is the card after an hour and a half. And then Colossus will just cut out a few of the little zip ties that are in there, and we'll pull him out, check everything, and then get him on display. But yeah, this is the Colossus that I remember as a kid. And he came out pretty easy. He's kind of hunched down, a little different doing a review on him just because of the whole slope. The attention though, they did not skip any detail with Colossus. Look at this. So if you remember, Colossus can transform and not look, you know, the armored look and just kind of pull off his natural style, but this is Colossus totally in X-Men mode. Take a look at the platform. And there's some good size. You know what? I've felt heavier. Actually, the Juggernaut from Hasbro, heavier than this. So if you're familiar with that, his hands are probably, you know, the size of Colossus' body. So that is actually heavier than this figure. And I think it was pretty suitable to have him on the X-Men stool. Let's get him in his display. They do a great job on, you know, the placement of these and how they just fit right in this cutout. A couple of things I'm learning on some of the McFarlane is the backgrounds, not just on these, are cardboard. So keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff like the Fortress of Solitude. I have never opened mine, but I watched a video this morning that most of the Fortress, the crystals, is a cardboard backing. So just wanted to throw that out there. The Batcave from Batman 66, some cardboard on the back of that. So just keep that in mind, that it's not going to be all plastic. Just to compare Colossus to the bigger sizes, here's the black suited Spider-Man. So, you know, you're going to get that towering effect, but just for a second, I thought that just because of the way he's hunched over, it's not going to look, he's not going to look as small. I know this Spider-Man's really standing high here, but he's not going to look as small as other of this scale compared to the larger scale, especially if you pair him up with the Spider-Man 300. So the way that he's hunched over, he's into web motion. You could actually, I mean, this looks a lot better than, you know, if like Captain America, Thor, or Spider-Man just like standing above him, Punisher. This could look good. So just kind of a little comparison depending on, you know, the style of the figures you're placing these with. You could get away with having these right next to each other. And that's going to do it for this review. What do you think of Colossus? Worth $34? I would say he's worth $29.99. I mean, to get that $34 to $35, I mean, you're really getting into a steep price here. But if you're a fan like I am, and I passed on the Wolverine, not really by choice, just because of not having, you know, a spot to put all this, but I couldn't pass on him. What do you think? This didn't make the intro, so I want to save it for the outro. Stay tuned for one of the best scenes in the X-Men Konami, but wanted to show off my X-Men mug. It just didn't make the unboxing, but it made the end of the unboxing. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.